Good evening, everybody. Sometimes I don't need a microphone because I'm a lifelong teacher and my voice can project to the back of the room. I was a high school teacher, of course, so I can project to the back of the room for all the naughty ones. It's my honor and privilege to be here tonight to speak with you. A little bit about me. In 2009, I said I was a world traveler. I spent almost 35 years working outside of Canada as an international educator. I came back to Canada in 2009 in June. And in October of 2009, my sister, who was kind of like my mother, she was 20-some years older than me, was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And as it happens, when I came back, I was one of the few people who wasn't working, who had time, who had energy. And when my sister asked me to be with her and act as her caregiver, of course I said yes. I spent 2 years being a caregiver 24/7 to my elder sister for 2 years until she passed away. After my sister passed, she left behind a husband, my sweet, sweet brother-in-law. My sweet brother-in-law got married to my sister when I was a year old. So he's been in the family for as long as I can remember. And he was at a complete loss. He had been married to my sister for an extremely long period of time. And he refused to go live with his kids. He wanted to stay in his house, and he had this great big house, and he didn't know how to cook, and he didn't know how to use the washing machine. And my sister pretty much took care of him, and he really didn't know what to do. So he asked if I would, house share with him. So again, I stayed with him and I house shared with him. And in many ways, it was like being a caregiver again, because he also had emotional needs. During this particular time, it was really interesting that I didn't realize how stressed I was. I didn't realize how tired I was. I didn't realize how worn out I was. But I kept having this voice in my head, and this voice kept saying, Qigong, 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 Qigong. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea. I kind of thought, I lived in the Far East. I lived in Asia. So I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't really have a clue. So I started to look for Qigong in Edmonton, and I didn't find it. I talked to a friend. She eventually introduced me to Dr. Ong, and I did some training with Dr. Ong here in Edmonton. But I always felt that it wasn't quite what I wanted, and I knew it could be easier and simpler. And then another friend introduced me, asked me to come to an introductory talk for Spring Forest Qigong. I went. Within 15 minutes, I knew this was for me. What makes Spring Forest Qigong different from all the other basic Qigong practices? There are, like yoga, there are many different kinds of yoga. There are many, many different kinds of Qigong in the world today. What makes Qigong different is Master Chuni Lin, who has created Spring Forest Qigong, had a vision when he was meditating for a month in a cave in China that Qigong did not need to be mystical, difficult, take 10, 20, 30, 40 years to learn, that it could be easy, it could be effortless, it could be simple, and anyone could do it anywhere. And that's what sold me, is that this is a practice that really, truly, anyone can do it anywhere at any time. I do Qigong in the supermarket. I do Qigong at stoplights. I work with immigrants and refugees because I lived in most of their countries, so I can relate to them. I do Qigong when my students are working. I do Qigong everywhere. It becomes a way of life. It's not something that you necessarily need to do once a week or twice a week. It's something, the Qigong that I practice can be done anywhere, anytime, by anyone. And it is suited for all mobilities. You can do Qigong standing up, sitting down, or lying down. Standing up is best, but you can also do it sitting down. You come to my Qigong classes. I've had clients that stand. I've had clients that stand and sit. I have clients that sit, and I actually had one cancer patient that actually could not stand or sit for long, and she laid down and got benefit from Qigong. So what is Qigong? Qigong is 2 words. Qi means energy. That's your life force. You can go for quite a long time without food. You can actually go a month or more without food, and you won't die. You can go several weeks without water and not die. You can only go minutes without breathing before you die. That's Chi. That's your life force, that's your vitality, that's your longevity, that's your immunity, that is everything. So the main principle of Qigong is breathing. We teach you how to breathe. Most of us, and including me in my past, not so much now, but in the past, I was breathing only up to here, shallow breathing. I wasn't breathing down into here. When we learn how to breathe, there are many, many, many benefits. One, it basically benefits every single part of your physical body. It's also the quickest and fastest way for you to get stress relief. That's a big one. That's why if you learn Qigong breathing, you can practice it anywhere, anytime. You know, you're all caregivers. I've been on that path. I know how stressful it can be. I know how guilty you can feel. I know how angry you can feel. I know all the emotions that come with it. I've probably gone through all of them. I gave up a life of freedom for my sister, but it wasn't giving up, because what she gave me was way more than what I gave to her. I really, truly wish I knew about Qigong when my sister was alive, and I believe I could have helped her better, but that's not the way it went. So Qigong is great. So we're going to do Qigong. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what Qigong is. Qigong works with the meridians. I believe the lady over here at the beginning talked about all the meridians. We have 12 main meridians in our body. It's like having 12 rivers. If there's a blockage in a river, what happens? You got drought and you got flood. It's the same thing that happens in your body. Within Qigong, we also deal with emotions. Emotions cause stress. Stress causes blockages. So we talk about emotions. We talk about releasing emotions. We talk about helping you to move that energy with the emotions. We also talk about, within Qigong, we also deal with our thoughts and how to work with our thoughts and how to bring focus and presence in our life. And again, someone else spoke about how most of the time we're unconscious of what we're doing and what we're just robotic. We're just doing things. And then all of a sudden, oh, did I do that? Did I lock the door? Oh, did I shut the TV off? Oh, did I, do those things? That's because we are not present. We are not 100% present. When we get into that state of consciousness, conscious living, and that's what we call in Qigong focus. When we get into conscious living, we are fully aware of what's going on. We do have less stresses. I've been practicing Qigong for 5 years. In the last 5 years, within the first month, I did Qigong for 5 minutes every morning for 1 month. At the end of that 1 month, the pains in my hip went away. Hasn't come back. I sleep better. I wake up every morning happy, and for me, this is phenomenal, because I was probably the worst morning person on the planet for many, over 50 years. Okay, and now not. I get up at 5 o'clock now every morning and do Qigong for an hour, which is, my family still doesn't believe that I do this, but they're not brave enough to come and see me at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the other thing too is my relationships have gotten much better. With my family, with my friends, with my colleagues. Very few things push my buttons. Very few things make me upset. Everything seems to be easy. So I'm going to put this down, and I want to put the mic down for a minute, because I want you to experience a little bit of Chi. What that energy feels like. Every one of you can feel it. Everyone in here is a healer. You don't think you are, but every single one of you is a healer. And that's what I teach in my classes. I teach you how to get that healer back. That's the beauty of Qigong, is that this is for you. You can get rid of the middleman. You don't have to come to my classes every single day. Once you learn Qigong, you can do it on your own every day. It's just beauty. It's much nicer if you do it in a group, because you get everybody else's energy too, which is pretty cool. So, are we ready?
Yep.
A little bit of shape. Okay. I want you to sit with your feet flat on the ground, flat on the floor. I want you to bring your hands here, just like you're holding a ball, okay? All right? And I want you to breathe in, and your hands are going to go out. So you're going to breathe in like then your hands are just going to go. So breathing in, breathing out. Push it together, but don't touch your hands. And feel what you feel in the center of your hands. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Beautiful. Breathing in. Breathing out. Do you feel that in your palms? How many feel something in their palms? Or you feel pressure? Or you feel like there's an elastic band or something? That's your chi. That's your energy. When you learn to tap that, you can heal yourself. I've had clients. I work with a lot of seniors. I had a senior come in one day to Qigong class, and he came in like this with his cane, right? And he's got this chair sitting here like this. And he walks over here, and he's going to stand, but I say, he needs to hang on to the chair. So he's doing Qigong, right? He's doing the movement that you guys are doing, and he brings his hands, he goes, okay? And he does a couple of other movements, and he stands like this, and he's hanging on to this chair for dear life. Within 10 weeks, this guy, I watched him go like this. In 10 weeks, he walks in without a cane, and he walks up to me like this, and he's walking out the door, and he says, "It works," and he walks out. The one thing that he said that really helped him was that he didn't feel afraid of falling anymore. He got his balance back. He was in his late 80s. He has since passed on. But it really made a difference in his last years of life. He came every day religiously to my Qigong class. Science has proven that Qigong works. There's loads and loads of scientific studies that are coming out. It's becoming more and more studied. There's lots of studies, especially with cancer patients, and how it really helps cancer patients. It helps them to de-stress, to feel better. There's healing modalities. One of the simplest movements in Qigong, the hardest movement in Qigong is this. Anybody want to guess why? Why is this so hard?
Bending and balancing?
Can you keep your hands up here for 5 minutes?
No.
Most people 2 minutes and your hands are down here. If you have lung issues, anybody in here have lung problems, breathing problems, asthma, any kind of problems like that, raise your hand. All right, if you sat at your chair where you're watching TV or at home or whatever, if you sat like this for 2 or 3 minutes as often as you can every day, you're going to open up your chest, you're going to create space, and you're actually going to be breathing better. There are several. This movement right here, Qigong breathing, I've had clients that have taken their puffer and gone less and less and less and less and less, and their doctor is saying, "What are you doing?" They're going, "Qigong." Well, keep doing it. So I've seen it on a day-to-day basis how this really helps people. The biggest thing is to de-stress. Breathing is your quickest, fastest, easiest way to de-stress. It's also your quickest, fastest way to become 100% present. Okay, one more thing before we go. One more little trick I'm going to show you. So, your hands, at the base of your hand, you've got a line on each hand. So line those two hands, line those lines up, just like this, and then bring your hands together, like in a prayer, okay? And look at your fingers. You got one set of fingers longer than the other? Everybody? And if not, don't worry about it. I'll fix that in a minute. Okay? All right? So you're going to take the hand with the shorter fingers. You're going to put it up here. You're going to take the hand with the longer fingers and just put it around your belly button. And you're going to repeat after me. My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer.
My fingers are growing longer and longer.
My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer.
My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer.
My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer.
My fingers are growing longer and longer and longer.
Okay, now bring your hands back together and measure. That is how, shake your hands. That is how powerful you are. That is how powerful your mind is. When you use your mind for healing, when you use your mind for relaxing, when you use your mind for anything, positive or negative, doesn't matter. That mind is powerful and it can affect you. That's how we work. So in Qigong, we have 4 basic practices. We have breathing. We do energy breathing. Anybody who's done yoga, what we do is similar to yogic breathing. Big, deep pranic breathing from the diaphragm. That's the basis of everything. If you breathe well, you're going to be healthy and live long. The other one is focused attention. That's growing your fingers. That's your focused attention. We also use movements, and we use sound. We use all those things to help the body better. If you are interested, you can come to my table. I have a card that tells you where I practice Qigong. You can go into my Facebook page, CarolynneMelnyk.com. I have a big event coming up. If anybody wants to try Qigong, I have a really big event coming up on November 24th. It's a Sunday from 1 o'clock to 1:30 to 3. No, 1 to 3:30, an hour and a half, and it's $45. And we are going to be doing Qigong with therapeutic heart therapy. So if anybody is interested, it is a very, very powerful event. No experience necessary. That Qigong, you can walk into any of my Qigong classes. You can be an advanced Qigong practitioner or a beginner. It doesn't make any difference. I want to thank you very much for paying attention and listening to me today. If you have any questions, please come over and talk to me. If you'd like me to do a little Qisage on you, Qisage is energy, massage, and acupoints, then I will help you. The other point too, anybody have heart problems? Press the center of your palm. You're massaging your heart. Do this hand, and then do this hand. 1 minute on this hand, 1 minute, and if it hurts, you got blockages. Keep doing it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Carolynne. Please go and check her out. Her